Yeah, yeah. Yeah, fucking pure Colombian shit back here. The fuck's that noise? Did you get a fucking dust of sand in the rotor?
Sprags, what the fuck? Why did you do that?
I never got through basic training. I had to let it out.
Oh. Okay.
That's why I still have my training uniform. I never went to basic training. They said I was too stupid to wear some armor.
How the heck did they let you out here?
Listen, I thought the chest plate was supposed to go on your legs, not on your chest.
What?
Why didn't they put me on those airplanes?
You're too special.
Listen, the pilot was looking at me weird. So I told him, hey, how about you look at the... Yeah, he was. He was looking at me, dude. I told him to look at the ground. And so he looked at the ground. I think he's dead now. I don't know.
Dead.
I'm too lazy to do my job. Anyway, what's the topic today?
Like, how did you get hired? That's some freaking corrupt.
Listen, I got hired because I was from Louisiana and I'm retarded.
He wandered into the battlefield and they gave him a bunch of equipment.
They basically just put me in here.
We have no freaking standards anymore.
Listen, I think I'm smart enough. Okay, sometimes.
Like, why do we have no standards anymore?
I'm that helicopter looking at us. I'm gonna hop in his helicopter and crash it. He's looking at me weird. He's looking at my head. Tell him to stop looking at my head, please. I told him to do that.
This is all just broken shit. Why are all of our systems broken? How do we build a society off of this broken shit?
Well listen, I told those guys to do that.
What's the source of this?
The source was definitely not me. Okay, you know what, never mind, they're wearing all my basic training uniforms. Okay, so maybe some of that may have been for me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we constantly raise people with no morals anymore. They just do whatever they want, and they get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Some guy shot some other dude in the face, and apparently he got the Medal of Stars.
So we said goodbye to Yash and all that.
Yeah.
So, pretty much, so not only is the school teaching bullshit, like VLM and crap, it's like, these kids don't need this in their lives. They're young 5-year-olds and things like that, and they don't need that. They need better forms of education. When education is used as a detriment, it's not education anymore. It's worthless. You're just having kids sit in a room and listen to garbage. Might as well be used as entertainment. They'd learn more just sitting in a black room doing nothing.
Yeah. Tell kids now to definitely don't end up like Grits here. Obviously he's retarded. Grits is the most retarded person alive. Wait a minute, my name is Grits. Wait a minute, hang on now. I forgot my own name. I usually do that sometimes. I mean, people normally do that. They usually don't.
Not really, no, but... I mean...
How come my buddy Johnny from Mississippi forget his first, last, and middle name, and all of his cousins?
Exactly.
That's kind of true.
He's not healthy.
Mississippi, very healthy. But anyway, yeah, no, on topic, that is pretty true. Definitely don't tell your kids to at least go outside, man. Do something.
Yeah.
At least throw like a football, or tell your kid like, hey, you want to go work on a car or something.
Your children's
work
lives,
on a car,
especially in their education right now. Because look at what these teachers are teaching these kids. They aren't learning anything worthwhile. Not math, not science. They're learning, bogus that makes no sense.
Yeah, learn something as pronouns like he, she, him, what.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
my
like,
pronouns are
there's more to
STUPID.
it
That
than
stands
that.
for stupid.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that. It's also they have no moral structure. Their days have no sentiment.
You
But I
are
don't know
absolutely correct on
exactly
that
what's going
statement.
on in schools now, but it's completely different than when you and I went. And parents now, even more so. Even though we're partially connected to it still, because we're young enough to understand it, elementary schools have no bearing on what they used to be. These kids aren't, nothing they're learning makes sense. And on top of that, these kids have peers who are in the same boat, so they can't really learn much off of each other. And what is there, their parents aren't active. So as these kids are growing up, they're learning worse and worse influences, and partially from each other. And imagine, right, poorer neighborhoods and things like that. It's just even worse of an issue because these kids are growing up around dangerous things like drugs, alcohol, all around them. Crime, shootings, dangerous things in their neighborhoods, right in their own backyards. In Chicago, other things, and these kids are being exposed to it without any parental guidance on whether it's good or bad or indifferent. So, who are they learning from? Other peers around them. And then when you get enough bad eggs together, they corrupt the rest of the people around them. And then what do you have? A crime issue. A bunch of hoodlums doing things because they think it's okay. But it isn't. Backwards moral structure that makes no sense.
Man, I still remember the time we went to school, man. That crap was so much fun. We didn't even have to worry about all that crap, dude. We just got on Flash games and just started playing Flash games. I remember back in computer lab to where we were finished.
Oh my gosh, that was some fun stuff back then.
Dude, that was some fun stuff back then. Why don't we do that anymore? That's probably because they got rid of Flash
School
back in
Math
2020.
Games is like broken now. They filled it with advertisements.
Well, also because they don't use Flash anymore. Like back in 2020, I think they deleted it
You
or
can still
something.
access Flash, trust me. There's still Flash games you can play, but it's not easily accessible in browsers anymore.
The only best Flash game is Happy Wheels. That crap is fun.
Yeah.
Which apparently that was a Flash game, which I didn't know that. Remember Cut the Rope? We had to
That
feed
was
some
a phone
weird old
game.
booger monsters some candy.
That was a phone game.
Yeah, but it was made by Flash though. Apparently it was counted as a Flash game.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until some dude named Martin Seedlepants fucking did a review about it, which I didn't know that. I might have to look it up, folks. I didn't look it up.
I think another part of this is media. Let's look around us, right? Look at the news. Look at everything that these people are taking in. Because it's unfiltered, all bogus, and everyone has access to it, meaning that dumber and dumber people have a platform, so stupider ideas get out easier. Not that people think there's more idiots than there ever were before. No. Well, partially yes, partially no, but it's, on top of that, what adds on to the issue is that the idiots have a higher chance of spreading stupid ideas because they have platforms now that people may agree to or not, and people who are different may think are okay. So it's completely, there's nothing. And with media biases now, people, and only certain news being shown, no one can really understand the real world around them, so they're told what to think. And imagine how this impacts every other aspect. All these aspects intertwine: the media, family structure, the school system, peer relations. It's all corrupted. And it's really sad to see how it's skewed for political nonsense, and how it's skewed for other power and any of what people want. It makes no sense. Because we don't have a society that's built upon common morals, upon common ground, where no one can agree with anyone. You could agree with each other on some things, maybe, but we can't. You're either on one side of the spectrum or the other. We really can't agree on anything. Like, let's say I have a tape dispenser in my hand and it's clear. Someone else will say it's freaking blue, and then other people get on board with it being blue, but it isn't. It's backwards. Because we can't agree on basic fundamental reality or fundamental morality. we have no fundamental morality. Something grossed me out the other day during a meeting I was in. They were trying to, I don't mean this in an offensive light, but I'm saying the way it really was is that they try to say Thanksgiving is racist and let's focus on this Trans Remembrance Day. I'm like, I'm not saying that things that cause these days to exist are good or bad, right? There were people that were hurt by pilgrims and things. I'm not saying there weren't. But also, let's look at what these days are currently. Thanksgiving brings families together. It brings people together for a great meal. Yeah, sure, maybe some natives are forced off land, and that's an atrocity. But also, we can recognize that today, that has no bearing. What does a Trans Remembrance Day do? Point out that some people were dead? Some people were bullied? People get bullied all the time. People die all the time. Crimes exist. I'm not saying that's good, bad. That's awful. It's sad that people die. But all that day does is point at selfish actions. People's self-centered nature rather than actually focusing on family unit, anything that really serves other people. Because what does being trans intrinsically do for anyone? It does nothing. It usually is the result of mental illness, or in some cases, fetishizing women. I'm not saying that's always the case, but usually it is. And it's really a sad system that we're offering something, rather than actually trying to fix issues that people are dealing with because of disorders they have. It's sad, it's a messed up system, and it's conflated. We've spoken about this before in past episodes, and it's completely different issue. What I'm saying here is that the family structure is being ruined by ideas that make no sense. That we can't bring people together. We have to constantly focus on a me mindset, and with me, everything else, we can't interact and actually contribute something worthwhile. We can, but kids nowadays aren't taught to do that. They're taught to get on a grind set, to do these different things that are all self-serving, rather than actually helping others. Helping others can help you in the long run, and it's sad that we can't allow for these things to happen. Really a horrible system, because our ignorance of socialization is being so beyond corrupted by political agenda, power agenda, anything possible to make people feel like they're worth a damn, rather than actually doing anything that is worth a damn. They're focused on things that claim to be helpful, but they aren't intrinsically helpful. You guys got any input?
No.
No, Bobby, come on, say something.
All of what 90% of what you just said flew over my head.
I pretty much said society is fucked because people are pushing bullshit narratives.
For real.
Bing. Bing.
I think he's dead.
We all came on here for an episode tonight, and then Grits leaves, and then Speng has an aneurysm, and Bobby and I are the only ones left. How does the cameraman die? That's not how it works. The cameraman survives no matter what. He's the guy holding the camera. That's Speng's job. How did he just piss out? Can't even end the episode. He has the camera. We're just gonna be sitting here with burner footage for 3 hours. It'll be alright. But, I think the epitome of all this, it also impacts people's personal relationships. And that's the important thing, right? Eventually people want to settle down and find a lover. But also we have this concept of hookup culture now, which is, spread by media, spread through peers to be some fantastic thing, some liberating thing. Meanwhile, what does it do? It brings everyone down. It makes you constantly focus on using people as objects for your sexual gratification, never seeing them as a person. It's practically just free prostitution. You have to pay years ago to just get sex like that, but no. Women just throw themselves out there thinking it's liberating, but no. It's like, you really think it's dignifying to do that? To sexualize yourself? It's sad. People sexualize themselves on daily. What does it do for you? It does nothing. Especially when you're finally trying to find someone you love. You can't. I mean, it's increasingly more difficult because people don't view each other as people anymore. They view them as a means to an end of their sadness, their depression, of this and that. They don't view each other as people. That's sad. And it's the culmination of everything that you just brought up. This school systems teaching people not how to interact, but how to use others. You know, cheating concepts. It's sad. What are kids learning now? Like, nothing is valuable anymore to anyone. No values are being taught anymore. You know, you can learn differential calculus all you want, but when you have no moral structure, no street smarts to go with it, what is that differential calculus worth? Worth nothing. You can't get a job off knowing nothing on how to interact with others. Every job, almost every job, has an element of socialization, even if it's just getting the job on its own. It's simple, right? And also intrinsically, we are social beings. We all want to talk to somebody. We don't want to be on our own. So what do you do when you're left in this world on your own? Everyone else is just trying to serve themselves. And you're one of the few people left trying to help others understand it, or help others to help other people. Because you see how corrupted it is. There's not much you can do because it started from the bottom when everyone was an itty bitty baby. We can hope for change, but when you're sitting there not able to do much because of how corrupted the system itself is from sources that we didn't even put into power, which aren't controlled by the people. Who elected the media? They can rape your mind. We let them do it. They can do it. They've done it for ages, right? They influence anything you say, think, or do. If they're selfish concepts, it's all for power and all for personal bias gain. Broken, deplorable system that we let happen because we'll never stand up against it. We have corrupted governments. Our freaking president right now is practically a file in America. But no one will do anything. Meanwhile, we have the ability to take him out of power. We have the ability to make change, but what have we done? Sat here. Because we don't want to do anything. We want to live comfortably rather than actually live in a society that values things. We value safety over freedom rather than actually the opposite. Those who try to get safety over freedom deserve neither. It's a busted system. Our institutions have been absurdly corrupted by everything because people want to be selfish and gain power. It's sinful, destructive, and it's sad. I just wish we could do more than just sit here and talk about it. But there's not enough people. There's not enough people out there who really care enough to change things. We're seeing change because people are tired of seeing bullshit. But it doesn't really do much when there's not enough people to do. There's not enough power to do it. Trying to shut it all down. To assume they're not gonna try and say there's another, whatchamacallit, virus out there in next year to try and make elections have problems would be stupid. They're just gonna try to pull the same concepts over and over and over again to maintain power. They don't care about you. These systems don't care about people. They care about money. They care about keeping themselves high and dry. If you benefit off of it, that could be the least of their concerns. And that's a disgusting society we live in, where the leaders we elect are more like dictators that we never put into power. Destructive. It's all destructive. And our relationships are tainted. Our family lives are tainted to a point where we can barely even start families of our own when we come to that point in our lives. I think plenty of guys do it. It's just there's not enough of them. People, so many people are too much these nowadays. They don't want anything worthwhile. They don't want freedom. They don't want joy. They want to sit here and be lazy and have the world handed to them. And it's exhausting. Whatever happened to Grass?
Oh.
Did he die? Most likely. Yeah. He's still twitching over there. Yeah. I guess he took a nap. But just all of our social systems have been corrupted by things that make no sense. That's all I can say here. There's not much else to really say about it, other than what happens now. After the four baselines that create someone's life, how do they live in this society that's caused that person? Yeah. So I don't really understand, how do we have a society built off of? How do relationships exist? Trying to look for someone, a diamond in the rough, rather than looking for someone who just fits who you are. I'm indifferent to all of that. I want someone who actually cares about me.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I worry about when I look at a woman. Exactly. The problem is, right, with the amount of promiscuous women in our culture, how easy is it to find that? Back in the day, we used to have plenty of women who actually had values, wanted to go out and actually care for those around them. And no. What are you talking about? Oh God. But it's just, oh man. But I wish we could change all this. And we have people fight for it. Not enough people who are willing to stand up for it. There's too much to worry about money stuff. I worry about my faith, worry about people at home. But I don't want to have to worry too much anymore. It's exhausting. If I stop worrying, what happens? I become like all of them. Those self-centered people who only look out for themselves and no one else. It's depressing. And there's no other way to put it. The moment you try to stop is the moment you try to slow down, take a breather, is the moment everything falls apart. So we just keep fighting till we die? Or do we eventually find someone who has the same ideas as we do. But exactly. Indeed. We have to change something before society crumbles. It's like the fall of Rome. You destroy all morality, everything dies. Everything burns when no morality is completely subjective. They have no rules, no roles, no nothing. Reality isn't even objective to some of these people. And then they support the bullshit realities rather than trying to bring people back to what truth is. Why? You want to claim to be liberal, but you're not liberating people. You're just letting them be trapped in a box. Or when you see them trapped in a box, you give them another box. You give people an identity rather than a personality. A concept rather than a person. You view them as a means to an end. You don't view people as people anymore. Destructive. It's sad. So if we could, we can fight for it all we want. We can try and change things. By the time we do, how far along will we be? The amount of powers that be, the amount of destructive ideas they have, with how strong they are right now, what options? Very few. But we can try. One by one after another. We can't do it all on our own. There's also a lot of principles that we're standing for are biblical, right? When we remove God from them, what are they? Principles. They fall on their own. No! No! Thing.
Fucking moontails of bitch.
But why are we bringing this up? I know what you're referring to.
No, you don't know who he's referring to.
Yes, I do. He was telling me.
Oh.
We don't even know who that is. No one watching knows who that is. Oh, God. Whoa. No, none of it's fine. You're just getting... Thing. I'm trying to say that all this is degenerative crap. We're trying to use a concept. It's just the iconography of bullshit. But we'll be okay. Eventually things will be okay. But not if we sit here and stand idly by. We can be pillars of truth. We just have to know how to explain them. Not only that, we also have to remain happy. If we're upset with our own ideology and our own concept and we keep fighting each other rather than the true enemies at hand, we're just going to collapse under our own weight. Their ideology is built on sand, ours is built on principle. We could easily take it down, we're just too busy infighting to change things. That's the main issue we're facing in this country right now. We're too busy constantly bickering with others around us when we could be trying to find common ground, what we agree with or not. We have nothing to agree with upon with the enemies. Because their entire moral compass doesn't exist, it's completely skewed for selfish gain. Alright guys, so I think we're gonna finish off here, because we're starting to get into topics of next time. So, as always, we constantly think about this stuff. We always gotta remember, Gotta ensure our productivity and our relationship with God, rather than sit here on our arses, thinking that we can save ourselves when we truly can't. And we know we can't do it alone, people. Now, let's all have a fantastic rest of our night, day, whatever, whenever you're watching this. Let's roll out, boys.